You know what? Let's go ahead. We'll just go ahead
Renato
and do it.
finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause. And maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Oh, new choices. I'm excited.
Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Renato could prevent Lapino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip.
We're getting the true ending. I'm excited. Woot woot. All the woot.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
Oh, yeah, that's best friend right there. So I guess, like, I knew everything, but I didn't know the whole truth until... Alright, I have all the truth. I'm just trying to see if there's a hole. Nope. Everything still seems to be back.
She's the one of the Raven Room, talking to her son. Alright, don't core. Get it? Core? I just made that up.
He'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lapino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else. Behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
This is all new dialogue, so I'm not going to skip it.
There was a cat in this one. And something useful.
That's odd. Ooh, I almost twice.
Every day he was getting better and better.
All right.
Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a rabbit.
Hop away. I mean, that would be pretty funny to see. Fox chasing the rabbit.
smell any better dead, Renato thought.
I would imagine they don't
Lapino
smell
would
good at
betray
all.
him. The core was dangerous. And Renato had a fleeting idea that the two ideas went together somehow. And then it was gone again. Ah, damn ideas. They never stuck around when you needed them.
Well, unless we give the rabbit the core, because it does drain your life and such.
Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Renato didn't
core
find so
and give it to the
amusing
rabbit,
anymore.
then
You sent me an
he
urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am.
would
The
get
ravens are coming.
drained
Now,
and
I've got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia.
Lifesteal from
Renato
it.
wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky River was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Lysander III might blow himself and his fleet up with it.
Oh.
Yes, that was it.
Oh no. So I don't actually know the full true ending. Do I give him the core and visit Zenobia? Or do I just announce him as a traitor? We're just gonna get rid of him now.
Me? A traitor? I'm hurt, said Lapino. Why ever would you say that? We found your code book, said Renato. They hadn't, but he hoped Lapino would blow his cover. You got me, said Lapino. And you know what? I don't regret a thing. It's always about you, isn't it? You're the pretty hero. You get the girl, you get the medal, and what do I get? Rabbit food. I thought you liked rabbit food. Go to hell, said Lapino. And he made a gesture, and 20 ravens came out of nowhere and stabbed Renato to death. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
So I wonder if I get to pick again or if I have to start over. That's hilarious. I just wanted to kill him right away. Can't help it. Wonder if that's one of the endings. Alright, so now we know. I made the wrong choice.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
It's like, you know nothing, Jon Snow, right?
His mother never let him move his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that.
I just used another raven to throw into a raven that was frozen. So I was right about the core, but I just wanted to see if I could kill Lapino right away. Because the core will drain his life as he's trying to carry it.
Nope.
That's really sadistic, though. Carl, I'm gonna just tell you where this is so it can drain you and kill you that way.
ravens were landing everywhere from drop. He'd have to be very careful.
Do you guys ever eat fresh food? You don't smell like it.
There we go.
Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky River was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it. Renato felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia,
he told the rabbit. Oh, wait, I've an even better idea. I'll get the core and you attack Zenobia, said the rabbit. Right, yeah, that is better, agreed Renato. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Renato just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time.
Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so I guess the whole entire time I'm going to have two choices. I don't want to mess it up.
Right. Now, all Renato had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her.
Then
he would rely on her love to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up.
It did sound a little risky. But Renato had a feeling it would work out somehow.
Well, the rabbit doesn't know anything about the core. The only reason we know is because that Clarence, I want to say Clarence, I know his name isn't Clarence, the fancy toad dude that lives at the top of the mountain, told us and gave us the maps where to find them, because he thought that if we brought all the pieces together and brought it to him, that he could make it functioning, and that's when I created a black hole and bad things happen. So we and the toad are the only two people who know all the things, all the details about the core and how to find them. And that's why Renato was like, oh, here's the map, but I'm not going to tell you anything else about the core. So the bunny doesn't know that when he picks it up, if he doesn't have the thing that holds it, or doesn't have any device that holds it, it's going to drain his life. Like it was doing to us.
That was fun. Let's do this again sometime.
Yep. And that's why I said that's sadistic, because the rabbit doesn't know that since he doesn't have anything to hold it or to pick it up with, like, yes, even though he gets it to the Emperor, that the entire time, it's going to be draining his life. Like it was doing to us while we